All right, so the first video in the series, rather than getting into controls, I want to show the basics of the AI track and the open track. I'll have links for there's two places you can get the open track, whether they be on the Softnik Softnik site, or you can get it on GitHub. I'll have these both down there in the description, as well as the AI track, which is this right here. Now, I'm going to actually update my open track. So, because this is apparently the 20, this is the 23rd, and I'll do new ones, so we will see. Use 2026 1.0. This is 2023 3.0. So next. It is recommended that you allow the setup to automatically close these applications. Yep. It looks like it'll close out the open track. Yep. And update it to the 2026. I would actually recommend to do this. It might lose my track file, but that'll be fine. Also, ignore my Windows down there. I replaced some hardware the past year, and I haven't gotten my Windows yet. So updating it, it did keep my DCS INI file. The things that you want to, so we'll do configuration. Should be use remote open track client. The IP should match in these options. I think it's the you want to have the UDP over network, which is what this IP is for. The port 4242, as well as enable both eyes. I don't think that really matters. UDP over network. Out of all these options, you want the free track 2.0 enhanced and the Aquila filter. And then you can come over here to configure your camera. I have two cameras, so I'll be using camera 0. I have a width, height, an FPS value for this camera, the IP, the port, the tracking parameters. Just about point. It's in meters, so that's kind of it's a weird one. Your camera, FOV and model type. You have fast, medium, heavy, very fast. Landmark stabilizer. You can calibrate face, auto check for updates. And this is my settings for the config window for AI track. And the AI track is the same version as what is on the Git. That out. Now we get to look at my ugly mug. First tracking. So what AI track, it tracks your face. It puts these magenta dots on your face, and then it transfers it over here to open track, and you can move, have head tracking. Now, the way you really want to do this is you want to bind a few buttons. So you want to have a center button. So if I look over here, I can center it over here, or I can center it over here, straight ahead and center. I have 9 on my mouse. Then you have a 0. Oh, I don't want to have a 0. I want to toggle it. Start, center. That's interesting. The toggle tracking button is not working, but you want to at least have a center, have a 0, a toggle tracking, a restart, whichever keybinds you want to have in here. Definitely have your center button. Your output, you might have to invert your pitch and your Z axis. I had to. I don't have game detection. It works with just about everything. I don't use anything in relative translation. And I'm pretty sure these are my default rotation filtering and position filtering. I don't think I changed any of that when I first set it up. But you definitely want to have a shortcut. Make sure your outputs are good to go. Make sure if you're inverted one way or another that you pre-invert or post-invert. And then another thing you're going to want to do is get your curves right to where you're not moving your head. Like when I move this way, that's a full 180. I'm looking behind me. I'll show that in game here in just a moment. All right, now we are in game, and you can see that the tracking software. So like if I was sitting off to the side here, I wanted to center my view, I can do that. And then like if I moved, it'll be off center, and then you hit the center button and you're good to go. Now your yaw, you definitely want to have the curvature to where you're able to look up and behind you pretty decently without breaking your neck. And then having enough, if you have your pitch, you also want to have a good curve. This is all gonna be based on how far away you are from your camera, and how well you want to set your curves out. You also want to set a roll, so like if I move off to the left or off to the right, it'll or no, this one, yeah. So it will translate. You don't need. I kept this one default. My X, or no, it's the X axis that is your left and right. So you want to tune that to where if you have like something down here that you want to see, as well as you can bind your seat button. But this is the basics of getting head tracking set out. Yeah, my Y and Z are default. I tuned my X axis for my leaning to kind of lean off to the side. My roll, I think that's default. But pitch and your yaw, you definitely want to tune those out. Put a max input and max output. Definitely helps when looking around. And your open track will definitely help you with looking back here to get your oxygen switch and getting your takeoff. Coming down here, looking at your RWR. It's a very handy thing. Also, with your HMD, you'll be able to actually lock onto targets that you see with a bunch of people. You can do your off bore, and your hands free for your stick and your throttle. So that is it for this tutorial. Hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time.
404, copy 32, not 2232.
404, read back correct. 99, take overhead, Mother Angel 7. 402, squawk 7142.
402, squawk 7142.
404, squawk 7143.